Hey guys, so in this video, I'll explain how I brought my average from this to this within 1 year and got out of academic probation. I'm just gonna preface and say that this is not gonna work for everyone. It's gonna work for a good majority of people because the advice I'm about to give is like general. I've asked around and a lot of people agreed with what I had to say, and obviously it worked for me, so I felt like sharing it, especially that after I made a TikTok, a lot of people send me messages asking me how they're in the same situation but they don't know what to do. So I will explain to you everything today. So the first category, which makes up about 50% of my success, is actually going to class. So about 45 out of 50% was the fact that I personally thought I was a visual learner. So I thought that, I would survive by just not going to class, reading my notes, whatever. Like I thought I was gonna survive that, but no, it turns out I'm actually more a listener. So what really helped was that my professors, when they were talking and I was listening, I could easily recall those topics, those lectures during the exam. Like I could hear them, if that makes any sense, during the exam. So if a question came up like, oh, what is the formula for glucose or whatever, I remembered what my professor said and I remember hearing it, so I could like easily just write it down on my exam. About 5% of that 50% was just the environment. Like when I used to not go to class, I would maybe go to the library, or sometimes I would just stay at home and do it at home. But personally for me, like working at home, I cannot do that. There are so many distractions. There's so many things that go on here that I can't focus at all when I'm here. And the energy isn't the best either, so I just go to the university. Or near my house, there's actually a university campus-ish. It's like a bus stop away, and I go there because they have these like soundproof study rooms or whatever, and they're really cool. I really wish my university could invest in those, but that's a topic for another day. But I usually go there if I don't want to make the 1 hour and 30-minute commute, which is something I will talk about in another video. And I would just study and I would grind there for maybe like 2 to 7 hours. So the second category, which makes up about 30% of my success, is note-taking. A side note though, I could kind of merge it with the previous section, which is going to class, because a lot of professors, I would say maybe 60 to 75% of the time, professors will say stuff in class that aren't in the notes, that aren't in the textbooks. You have to take notes during class. Additionally, you also have to read the class before the class, if that makes any sense, because it allows you to like know what the professor is going to say, and it also allows you to know the stuff that the professors are saying that aren't in the notes in advance, so that you aren't lost during class. Okay, so now we're fully gonna go into the second category, which is note-taking. I used to take notes a way that all my professors would frown upon. They're like, don't just take the PowerPoints and highlight them and write on them. It's not gonna work for you. A lot of people fail because of that, so I stopped doing that, and it made me go down. Like I tried every single method of note-taking. I tried Cornell, I tried everything, okay? Let me show you my notes from high school. Okay, so these are my notes from high school chemistry, but you can see how gorgeous these are. They're gorgeous. I don't know if it's gonna focus, but they're absolutely gorgeous. These are my notes from university. So I take my notes on GoodNotes, and honestly, a lot of people have frowned upon GoodNotes because, you know, they're trying to milk us of our money a little. But honestly, like, I'm like, alright, like, it's not the end of the world also. So these are my notes for research math. biggest downfall. I would waste time rewriting the class notes, and it wouldn't do anything for me. Like, it worked in high school, but it doesn't work in university. So pretty much to sum it up, like, find a way that works for you to take notes. I can make a separate video if you want on different ways to take notes, or like go in depth on how I personally take notes. But honestly, I don't feel like finding a video on how to do so is the answer. I searched the internet for like weeks to find a way, and honestly nothing worked. So it's really a experience that everyone has to do for themselves. Okay, so the third main category of this video is something that makes up about 15% of my success, which is surrounding yourself with the right people. So most of my friends in first year were in arts, they were in social science, they weren't really in programs where I personally consider that you have a lot of workload and that you have to study like almost every single day. Like, I had a friend who would like just stay home and she would go to class like twice a week, and I was like, okay. And personally, I would miss class to go see that friend because I never got to see her. Again, I don't live on campus, I live at home, so I commute to campus an hour and a half every single day, and you get used to it. But first year, I was like, yeah, no, this is the only time I can hang out with her. Obviously, missing those classes was not the right thing to do. The difference between my first year and my second year was that in second year, I had my boyfriend who is in civil engineering. So he had a heavy workload, like heavy, okay? He was always there to push me to work. He was always there to make sure that I studied. He was always like, shout out to him, okay? Like, he's the reason. I would say maybe 70% of him is the reason I did good this year. Yo, like, surrounding yourself with the right people is number one. Because if you surround yourself with people in your program or people who can relate with you, you will be doing good. Additionally, I am such a competitive person when it comes to like academia, sports, whatever. So I like surrounding myself with people who did the same classes as me, because I can like compare myself in a non-toxic way to them and be like, oh, I'm above this person who I personally think is really smart. Oh, I'm doing better than X. Like, it's just good to surround yourself with people, like keep hustling, whatever, like try to be competitive. We're just gonna get into the next category. The last category of this video, it's a really small one. It makes up about 5%. It's schedule. I tried every single schedule app that is available in the App Store. None of them worked except Notion. A lot of my due dates, a lot of my like classes, whatever, I put them all in Notion, and it allowed me to like figure out like, oh, I have to do this before this date. Oh, I have this exam on this day. And then another part of that 5% is how you organize your schedule. What I learned that worked best for me was taking only 3-hour classes. When you have 3-hour classes at my university, you only have it once a week, whereas an hour and a half classes, it's twice a week. When teachers or professors give you like work or give you assignments or projects, you don't really have time to work on it if you have that class twice a week, because let's say class is on Monday and on Wednesday. Monday they're gonna give you like, oh, today we're learning about Greek letters, whatever, and then they're gonna give you homework, and they're gonna be like, oh well, like to make it fair, we're gonna make the homework due next Monday. But the thing is, on Wednesday you guys are gonna see something else. Most of the time they're gonna show you like another topic on Wednesday, so you're gonna add up on the stuff that you need to learn, and it's just not cool because you're gonna get overwhelmed after like 6 weeks. You're not gonna be able to keep up with your assignments. You're gonna be turning stuff like last minute. But if you have 3-hour classes only once a week, you could like dedicate one day. You could dedicate one day to like one class. Like, so every single day I had like one class to work on, and it was so helpful versus my first year. A side note that I'm gonna say is that mindset is also something that's gonna help you get out of probation. If you don't have the mindset to do so, and you're always like, oh, I'm never gonna get out of probation, oh, everything is so hard, I'm probably just gonna drop out, you're not gonna get out of probation. If so, it's gonna be really hard for you, or really hard on you. Always think, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna excel this semester. Like, you have to think positive. You need to be positive. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope everything I said was a little helpful, gave you a little insight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. You could text me on Instagram, you could DM me on TikTok, whatever. Like, I'm always on my phone, so I will see your message come in. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that other people can see this video, and this is the page to go.